let's start with your right.
Thank you for having me, Charles.
Sure, thank you for being patient with us. Let's start with your right to reply. What issue do you have with what Donald Duke had to say in our interview with him?
Well, what I'll say is former Governor Donald Duke is a person of impeccable character. You know, he's someone that I know, and not just, he's a family friend. You know, he knew my dad while my dad served as Justice of the Court of Appeal in the Calabar Division. So he's someone I would call the specimen of gentility. Now, when he was on your program, he did say that you asked a question, and then he said, well, we are where we are right now because the PDP constitution has not been followed. And, you know, the PDP constitution has actually been followed, you know, and when people say it's not been followed, it's probably because they're not aware of the PDP constitution. Section 7.3c of the PDP constitution actually provides for zoning. It says that, you know, there must be zoning of party offices and there must be zoning of elective offices. But if you go to section 50, you know, subsection 1, it gives the power to determine how zoning will come about to the National Executive Committee of the party. So zoning is a constitutional requirement. However, it is the neck of the party that determines how the PDP zones. And then the convention with the PDP, within the PDP, because the PDP works by constitution and then procedure, rules and tradition. And then, so we have the constitution saying there should be zoning in section 7.3c. Now, what are the conventions of zoning? Zoning has that you have when one region, and there are two regions in Nigeria, there are 6 zones, but 2 regions, the northern region and the southern region. When one region produces the president or the presidential candidate for 2 cycles, then that position, it goes over to the next region. So for instance, you had President Obasanjo for 2 cycles, 1999 and then 2003. And then it went over to President Yar'Adua, 2007. If he hadn't died, he would have had the right of first refusal in 2011. Unfortunately, he died, and then you had President Jonathan. And so President Jonathan served from 2011 when he won the election, and then he had the right of first refusal 2015. And then after that, it should, in the spirit of zoning, according to section 7.3c of the Constitution, it should go over to the northern region, which is what happened in 2019, and which is what's happening here now in 2022 for the 2023 elections. To say that what's happening right now is unconstitutional and that we shouldn't have a northern presidential candidate, and because we have a northern presidential candidate, then the chairman of the party, who is from the north, has to go. No, that's not correct. That's not right. And also, by convention, what happens is when you have a presidential candidate, the chairman of the party can come from the same region as the candidate. However, when the candidate is elected, then whatever positions were held, party offices were held by the president's zone or by the president's region will now revert to the other region. So I'll give an example. 2007, the chairman of the party was from the northern region, Colonel Amadou Ali, and then the candidate of the party was from the northern region. When the candidate, Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, when he was elected, then Colonel Amadou Ali had to go because of that convention. And so the chairmanship shifted from the northern region to the southern region. That's the convention of the PDP. And so Prince Vincent Ogbolafor became the chairman. So things have been done constitutionally. Now, if people don't understand that, it might seem as if things are not constitutionally. But right now, what we have, things are being done constitutionally.
Well, I have to say, Reno, that's the best explanation I have ever heard about the PDP's constitution. I mean, we've heard people over and over...
Thank you, Charles.
We've heard people over and over waffle on about what it's supposed to be, constitution this, constitution that. But nobody has ever explained it, not just as lucidly as you have, but in such clear detail.